Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and the third and final season of What If is upon us. It'll premiere daily with 9 episodes from December 22nd to December 30th. In the latest Disney look ahead, they showcase many things that we've been waiting for, but also release some footage for their newest What If season that includes Gundam Captain America, which, I mean, it was made for me. It was made for me. This was for me. Everybody gifted it for me. I'll review everything we know about season 3 of What If, who we can expect to return to voice themselves, and where this leaves the watcher. But first, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes launching your own website a breeze. We want to remind you to go check out nerdriot.shop, where you can always find the latest and greatest in New Rockstars merch. You can still grab some merch inspired by Agatha all along and some of our Venom-inspired merch. Find something perfect for the nerd in your life for this holiday season because it's coming up. You can give them a shirt for Thanksgiving. Go support the channel. Go support nerdriot.shop. This is the best way to do it. All right, now let's get into the video. As I mentioned earlier, this is What If's final season, and as Brad Winderbaum described it, this season is the culmination of a trilogy completing an emotional experience with the watcher. More than the other 2 seasons, we'll witness Uatu caring more about everybody and everything this season. Just as a little recap, in season 1, the Watcher had to build a team to fight Infinity Stoned Ultron. The team included Captain Carter, Star-Lord, Strange Supreme, Killmonger, Gamora, Thor, and Black Widow. Then in season 2, the Watcher returned to his original job, just watching, after overseeing Groot, of course. In season 2, episode 5, we see Black Widow and Captain Carter becoming the best of friends, and the episode ends with Carter being sucked into 1602's universe by the Scarlet Witch, and Uatu doesn't know where she went. He tries to take her back to her original universe upon finding her. Instead, by the end of the episode, Strange Supreme ends up saving her, but in reality, he plans to feed her to the Forge to create his universe. To do this, he had to collect different beings from different universes, but luckily, Cohorti and Peggy saved the day, and Uatu transported Cohorti back to her world, and Peggy to the nexus of all realities. In Uatu's storyline throughout season 1 and 2, he repeatedly chose not to, or attempted not to, interfere. Then he started interfering, and he still decided to abide by his code by letting nature run its course. Like in 1602's universe, Peggy Carter couldn't save the damage in his eyes, and she wasn't of that universe, but she challenged him to interfere when needed. But by the end of the season, his willingness to interfere to protect certain people was apparent, and in doing so, they restored Strange Supreme's universe via his sacrifice. Uatu caring for the people he's been watching will probably play a more significant part this season. Still, of course, everything comes with consequences, and I'm sure breaking his oath will finally come with bigger problems. This will probably be the major storyline that carries on until the finale, in my opinion. But let's look at season 3 overall for their updates. So for season 3, we know the head writer AC Bradley announced via Twitter that she'd be moving on from Marvel following the season 2 finale. Matthew Chauncey will be taking over head writer duties for season 3. However, AC Bradley may be gone, but one of her episodes will make it into season 3, the Red Guardian episode. I've scoured every interview to find a solid answer to why they chose to push this to season 3. The most I could find and make up was them speaking with Deadline. AC Bradley mentioned that the Thor Party episode was initially moved from season 1 to season 2 due to COVID-19 production issues. In their IGN interview for season 2, the second season was entirely done during COVID-19 and worked remotely for almost all of the script writing, voice records, and animatic development. And with Collider, Brad Winderbaum did mention the original plan called for 10 episodes before the pandemic forced Marvel to go down to 9. They just couldn't hit that completion deadline. So the 9-episode plan just continued through season 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was all due to COVID-19 production issues causing a domino effect in the following seasons. The Red Guardian episode, though, released a teaser trailer the same day Bradley announced her leaving, December 30th of last year. In it, a young Red Guardian and Winter Soldier are in an altercation with Dr. Foster. This is also reminiscent of their little road trip scene that we see in the Thunderbolts trailer. Regardless, Marvel's What If Twitter account also shared a little photo from what I expect to be the episode of Bucky and Red Guardian looking through a broken window that I'm sure they just tossed someone out of. They also shared another image of Bill Foster as Goliath picking up the Red Guardian, so we'll get Goliath again like we did in season 2, episode 2. The woman in the clip, the Ranger, is named Ranger Morales, and this will be voiced by America Ferrera. Allegedly, the episode follows Bucky and Red Guardian traveling to Vegas. If this episode was meant to be in season 2, which featured different versions of other classic Hollywood movies, I presume this will imitate Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Not only are they taking a long road trip, but they're also a walking petri drug dish of super soldier serum, always finding trouble. Picture this. You're not a cook, but you've got to make Thanksgiving dinner. The dream scenario is that you could just use some magic tool that made it easy to choose how many people you have to feed and what kind of size you wanted. Maybe you'd also add a few extra frills for place settings, a special carve out for the kids table, and some options for dessert. Now swap out making Thanksgiving dinner for building a website, and the magic tool you're dreaming of is Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one tool that gives you everything you need to do to make a website that looks good and does whatever you need it to do. Hands down, the best feature Squarespace has right now is the Design Intelligence tool. It combines 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology. It makes it so easy to build a bespoke website tailored to your unique needs. And if you're doing any kind of business online, you know firsthand what a headache payment platforms can be. But with Squarespace, you can get started in just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away using popular payment methods like Apple Pay, ACH Direct Debit, Klarna, and more. Plus, Squarespace helps you get your site discovered fast with a suite of integrated SEO tools. Every Squarespace website is optimized optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more, so you show up more often to more people in global search engine results. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/newrockstars to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. My most anticipated episode, which they keep discussing, is their Mech Suit Gundam Avengers episode. I suspect What If director Brian Andrews expects that this is the episode that's going to sell a lot of toys. We saw this tidbit in the Disney look ahead, but the What If Twitter account also shared another image of the mech suit Monica Rambeau and Captain America will be in. They also shared another photo of them in their suits before they get into the mech suits, and you can tell by both images their designs still make an impression on the robotic fit. This is an anime Gundam Power Ranger inspired episode featuring a new team up of the Avengers piloting mech suits, and God made this for me. According to some footage people saw at D23's Marvel Animation panel, they open with what looks like them fighting a kaiju, maybe a Hulk-like monster or a monster that resembles Giganto from the Fantastic Four comic books. Some rumors say the episode is titled Go Avengers, Heroes of Gamma War, and if that's true, then I assume this is actually like Hulk monsters. We can confirm this team was created by Tony Stark and led by Sam Wilson. It consists of Monica Rambeau, Moon Knight, Red Guardian, Black Widow, and Shang-Chi. The final footage shows them combining to be one giant robot fighting the monsters, and this is really just some Power Ranger stuff that I'll never get tired of. If Tony had created this team, I think it would be safe to assume he also made their suits, and the idea of Tony making these Japanese-inspired suits isn't actually surprising. Marvel has collaborated on other famous Japanese-inspired works in the past, like Godzilla King of the Monsters comic series, which introduced the Mecha Red Ronin, which was also created by Stark Industries. I actually have a video that touches a little bit on this on the break room soon. I cover the new Ultraman movie and talk to the directors on Ultraman and the Avengers. I also speak about Japanese influence and inspirations and how I need more of it in Marvel, so just keep an eye out for it over there. Also, all my fandoms are finally bridging. Now we just have to figure out how to get Leatherface in Marvel. No one's ripping off skin. Okay, no one rips off skin anymore. According to an interview with Brad Winderbaum, Agatha will also appear in season 3, which will be their musical episode. And to be fair, he offers that it may involve a giant musical number, but that does not mean it's the musical episode. In pitching episodes for season 3, What If director Brian Andrews told Marvel.com they had 4 different episodes that they wanted to get the Kiss band involved in. One was a galactic battle of bands where villains and heroes compete and the judges were revealed to be Kiss. Though the episodes seem unlikely now, there were still 3 other pitches for season 3 that might have made the cut that did not include Kiss but involved music. In that same interview, Brian says, I wanted to go full hardcore mega genre for season 3, which is great. We have a Gundam episode and now a musical Agatha episode. And this makes me believe the Shang-Chi cowboy episode will be just as full hardcore Western themed as the Mech Suit Avengers will be like a big kaiju all-out war. Not much is known about the cowboy Shang-Chi, but you can't give us a Western meets Marvel crossover without using those famous Western tropes, robbers, sheriffs, and crimes. So I assume we see a lot of other Marvel characters, but one's fitting for a Western like sheriff or barkeep. Like how we saw Howard the Duck running a casino in season 2, maybe here we see Obadiah Stane as a crooked sheriff. Marvel has had its share of Western themed characters and settings in the comics. My favorite is Western Ghost Rider, Carter Slade. Regardless, we haven't seen Shang-Chi since his debut, so this had better be an all-around Shang-Chi Western episode. I don't think it's gonna be a 10 ring specific episode because we got that last season. In the look ahead, we also get a scene of Nick Fury with some scrolls, which appears to be the same beam of light from Saber. We saw something similar to when he arrived in Secret Invasion. This scene can and probably will play to a bigger all-around episode or storyline because Nick Fury appearing from Saber with scrolls isn't new to us. There's also a rumor about another follow-up story or episode with Captain Carter and Cohorty from last season, which I would love to see because I love Cohorty. It's not fully confirmed, but the list of the cast returning and appearing as we know it is Jeffrey Wright as Uatu, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, of course, Sebastian Stan as Bucky, David Harbour as Red Guardian, Lawrence Fishburne returns as Bill Foster, America Ferrera, as I mentioned, will be the Ranger Morales, Oscar Isaac will return as Mark Spector, Catherine Hahn as Agatha Harkness, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau, and Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. Other characters we're waiting for confirmation but have been rumored to appear are Riri Williams as Ironheart, Wong, Shuri, White Vision, Phil Coulson, and Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury. In an interview with Men's Health, Brad Winderbaum also discussed season 3 of What If as the beginning of the crossover potential with animated projects. So if this season is where we finally bring some of those characters and their stories over, I'm 100% confident it's Uatu's. Jeffrey Wright will just be flung into Secret Wars as the Watcher. And of all the characters in What If, he is the only one who doesn't alter any story we give them or requires a lot of commotion in the MCU. His memories and stories can go into the MCU and we'll just be like, oh, cool story. If we brought What If's Captain Carter, she'd be telling everyone everything and then we'd be confused at how she hasn't started an incursion yet. We could potentially bring 1602's Wanda because she can sort of tear into other universes, but even then it's easier and I think better to just bring in Jeffrey Wright's Uatu. Comment down below your thoughts on the final season of What If. Who else do you think will be making a grand appearance? Follow me at Lulu_Clemons, subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns, news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in December. I'm leaving forever.